Hey guys, welcome back to Bench Talk. Today's an updated video on the Howe 1500 budget build. If you guys aren't familiar with it, you guys can go back to our part 1 video. This is technically part 2. Just to give a quick overview, kind of we took a Howe 1500 barreled action. Did have a stock with it and an extra barrel, but we started with a barreled action technically. And it's their lightweight model, and we're basically going to go through the process of getting rid of all the parts that it came with factory, and then doing our part to make it about as custom as we can get. Bushing the bolt face, blueprinting the action. I preferably like, and you don't have to, but I like getting the bolt knob threaded so I can have a tactical bolt knob, and then Cerakote. So that's what we're going through. Currently the bolt has already been bushed by Desh LLC. That's who I use to bush bolt faces for Howe 1500s. This is my 4th one that I've had them do. Comes out great. I'm not associated with them at all. I pay for all my work. It's about $100 per bolt, including shipping and back and forth stuff like that. So it's about $100. Again, I've done it to 3 other of my builds. I really like it. I feel like it. The whole problem that it helps with, right, is truing out the whole face of the bolt, and then also shrinking the firing pin hole plus the firing pin. After that, I sent the action and bolt, or receiver and bolt, off to my buddy Aaron Tierney, who's my gunsmith. I am friends with Aaron, but I pay for all my work. Nothing's free. Right? If you guys have a gunsmith that you guys really like, it's always great supporting someone who is in that line of work, and that's what I preferably do. So he currently has already blueprinted that action. So blueprinting the face of the receiver, blueprinting the interior lug abutments, plus the lugs on the bolt. Currently it's still with him because I already have a lightweight Howe 1500 action compared to the rest of the actions I have, which are just the normal round receivers. I'll do a comparison video later, but if you go back to part 1, I compare rounded receiver versus the lightweight one we're doing with the budget build. And since I already have one, I want them to match identical. So my first one I had has fluting on the bolt. So he currently is keeping the receiver and bolt to do some bolt fluting. So it'll be an extra week or 2. When I get that back, I'll be sending the bolt back off to get the bolt knob threaded and get a tactical bolt knob put on, and then it'll be off to Cerakote. In the meantime, I haven't taken basically any time off from ordering parts and trying to get rid of stuff. So like we mentioned for the budget build, this whole thing's about hustle, and with hustling is trying to basically get the best bang for your buck. So the barreled action we got came with a heavy contour 6.5 Creedmoor barrel that was, I think, 24 inches and was threaded 5/8 by 24. It was a standard 1 1/8 twist for the 6.5 Creedmoor. It also came with a secondary barrel which was either 18 or 20 inches, and it was a light Sporter Contour 308 barrel, which was not threaded. I was able to sell both those barrels on eBay for $200 together. It also came with the standard overmolded like Hogue stock for a Howe 1500 short action, and then their standard Howe 1500 bottom metal. Those together I was able to sell for $100. So luckily we were able to sell the parts for about $300. eBay takes 15% when you sell stuff, or somewhere around 15%. So we end up, if you take minus that 15%, you come out to a total of $255. Which is great. So we're basically looking at the total, the actual rifle that we originally bought, or barreled action, was $500 including tax and registration fees. So right, if we subtract that $255 we have, we're with $245. Moving on to some of the parts we have behind me. I'm not sure if the camera will focus. Some of the parts we have behind me are 2 barrels. These are Schillen alternate barrels. They're basically Schillen's take on a Renage barrel for a Howe 1500. So I bought 2. Technically we're only going to include the price of 1 for the budget build. I have, again, this will be my 4th Howe 1500, and I like to swap barrels back and forth. I have a handful of their barrels and I do really like them. The barrel nut that I use is a Savage large shank barrel nut. That's what you have to use. I preferably get mine from Northland Shooter Supply, and the whole thing is that it's supposed to be basically a perfectly true barrel nut. So that's the part that's going to index on your, the front of your action, right? Which is, we took the time and paid money to have someone blueprint and true up the front of the action. So you want to have a true barrel nut. So I get mine from them. You can get them from Midway USA, or who just sell like standard ones. They're not precision. and those might work great. Basically, I'll pay the extra $5 or $10 to have Northland Shooter Supply just give me one that they say is true. So the top barrel is a 22-inch 243 Ackley improved with a 1 8 twist, and then I had it throated long. I basically sent Shilling dummy rounds. I had it throated long for the 112 grain match burners, like 115 grain burgers. There are also some other larger, like 115 grain options by some other manufacturers, but that's what I got mine throated for, so I can shoot heavier caliber bullets and try to take advantage of the extra case capacity for the 243 Ackley. The barrel's threaded 5/8 by 24 at the muzzle, so I can use a suppressor or a muzzle device. And then the barrel below that is a 22 Creedmoor barrel. It's a 20-inch barrel, and it's a 1 7 twist. And then it was the same thing. I sent dummy rounds and had it throated long for the 88 grain ELDMs by Hornady. I shoot that in my Remington 700 22 Creedmoor. I really like them. They do great on coyotes. If you guys want, I have a video set up for that Remington 700 22 Creedmoor build, and it's off of a Remage barrel by Criterion. Both these barrels are their heavy contour, and they both came out to a total of about $500. So if we're taking the $245 we basically are in it after subtracting what we sold, plus the $500 we're in it, $745. Getting the bolt face bush is about $100, so now we're in at about $845. And then below right here, I have a KRG Bravo stock. If the camera will focus on that. That's what I preferably run with my Howas. It's really nice that they just take AIC mags right off the bat. You don't have to worry about bottom metal. This one, they do it maybe once or twice a year, usually like on Black Friday. They have where they sell like Blem stocks. This was a Blem, and I think I bought it for $350. So if we add that to the total, we're at about $1195 for what's currently in the build, which is great. Right, we're on track to try to keep this under $1,500, which, if you can spend $1,500 and basically get a completely custom rifle, I think that's a win, right? This is all about the hustle, trying to get the best rifle you can, best bang for your buck, especially when, you go out and you can get some of the higher end Browning X bolts or higher end like Bergaras, and they start around $1,500. I would rather take a budget Howa 1500 and do this whole build in my preference to make sure that there's nothing that I'm like, wow, like I wish this was, this way, or whatever. I have no issues with this. I love these builds, and that's the whole reason why I'm just showing people another option when you're looking to get into long range shooting. So for the build, we'll probably use the 243 Ackley barrel, and we actually slam it together to do some testing for shooting, taking it out, shooting long range. Also below, I'll have a link to Desh LLC's YouTube channel. He goes into a video of what he does to bush bolt faces. I think the bolt he uses for the video is a Moe's Magnotte barrel, but it's the exact same process for either Howa 1500, Remington 700, or Savage. So I'll also have a link to Aaron Tierney's website in case you guys want to hit up Aaron, check his website out, check out some of his work. You can always email or call him to kind of bounce ideas off him if you guys are looking to do a build through him. Again, I pay for all my work. I think he does great work. I think Desh LLC's does great work. Same thing, I love Shilling's barrels. I really like KRG Bravos. This is all stuff that I've used. It's just my opinion that I like them. Based off my experiences with them, and this is the stuff that I use and that I'm putting into my rifles that I'm, taking with me out, either target shooting or hunting. So this is an update on the budget build. Video 3 will be when the rifles actually slam together and everything's said and done. So I appreciate it, guys, and stay tuned for video 3. Please subscribe, and you guys can go check us out on Instagram. I think it's benchtalk_284 or something like that. You'll see videos or photos from at the bench or from us out shooting and YouTube content and stuff like that. So I appreciate it, guys. I hope you guys can get a rifle, go out and shoot, and have a good rest of your day.